Okay, we're going to open up IronCAD by selecting the IronCAD 2018 X64. And then we're going to select 3D scene. We're going to select metric, and we're going to select blue and click OK. And now we're going to start creating a sketch for our cell phone holder. So we're going to go to the sketch tab here. We're going to select 2D shape. Notice there's 4 different options here. Make sure you have 2D shape selected. You'll get a screen that looks like this. Before you start, verify that your units here are millimeters. If they are not, go up to the common tab, come over to units, and change them to millimeters. Okay. We're going to go to the sketch tab here, and on the sketch tab we're going to select 2-point line. This is the tool we'll be using for almost the entire sketch. So we're going to right click on the center here, and we're going to drag a line without letting go of our right mouse button. Once we have it nice and straight, you can see on the red line here, it's nice and straight. Let go. Doesn't matter how long you had it, because if you right clicked, you'll be able to input the distance you want, which we want 95, and then you're going to click OK. Then I recommend do a fit scene. You'll see that I do this a lot just to zoom in on features. So I'm going to now right click on the left endpoint of the line we just made and drag a line in this direction without letting go of my right click button until I have that line drug. Then I let go, and I am going to enter the length that I want, which is 127, and I want a slope of 112, negative 112, and I click OK. And because it went off the screen, we're going to do a fit scene again. And now we're going to right click here. So I'm going to put my mouse over that position. Then I'm going to roll the scroll button towards me. Okay. And that's going to zoom in. It zooms in underneath of your mouse and tries to kind of center that on your screen. If you zoom in over here, for example, where my mouse is, it looks like you've lost everything. Just go back to fit scene. Okay, I'm going to zoom in here now, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to drag. And this green dashed line is super important, as well as the little upside down blue T that you see when you follow the green dashed line. There's an upside down blue T. If you don't see the blue T, you do not have a 90-degree angle. It's an upside down blue T. That shows you have a 90-degree angle. So follow it, follow that green line carefully. Let go of your right click and enter 2. Click OK. Let's do a fit scene again. And now I'm going to zoom in real close here, and we're going to right click and drag a line up from that point. Let go of your right click, enter 2, and click OK. Now we're going to go to fit scene, and this time we're going to left click on this line and very carefully drag down. You'll see the green dash line. Now you drag down, and once you get to this point, you'll see the other green dash line pop up. And when you get to that, you want to click right at that intersection, making sure you can see all those green dash lines. And when you do that, you'll see that you have 2 upside down blue T's here, indicating that is a 90-degree angle. Now we just left click this dot. We drag over, we left click this dot. We have finished that part of our cell phone holder. Now we're going to right click here. We're going to drag a line straight up and let go. When I say straight up, I mean on top of that existing white line. We're going to enter 30, and we're going to click OK. Then you're going to right click on that end point that you just made, and you're going to follow that green dashed line, very important, with the upside down blue T, and that's going to be 20. Click OK. Then you're going to right click and follow the little green dashed line up in this direction. We're going to go 5, and we're going to click OK. I'll zoom in so you can see this now a little better by pulling the mouse button, scroll button towards me. I'm going to right click here, drag this direction, let go, making sure I was on that green dashed line. 2. Okay. I'm going to right click, follow the green dashed line down, let go. We're going to enter 3, click OK. And now I am going to just connect the dots. So I'm going to left click here, and I'm going to follow the green dashed line to this intersection right there. I'm going to click right on the intersection. That was a left click, by the way. And now I'm going to zoom in some right here because we're going to use the trim command to do trim. We're going to trim this out. Now we have our cell phone holder. Essentially, if we do a fit scene, we have a side view or sketch of our cell phone holder. Real quickly, we're going to put in some fillets. So I'm going to press the fillet. I'm going to right click on that point and drag this way, and I'm going to let go, and I'm going to enter a distance of 3 and click OK. I am going to right click that point and drag this way and enter a distance of 7. Click OK. I'm going to right click here, drag, and I'm going to enter a distance of 1.5. OK. Here I am just going to zoom in. I'm going to left click and just drag it straight down as far as I can. This one, I am going to right click and drag it out this direction, a distance of 1. Okay. And I'm going to do this one a distance of 1 as well. Right click and drag this way, a distance of 1. Okay. And I am going to now select my selection tool by left clicking on it. See this line right here? Super important. You select that line, turns yellow all the way down. We're going to press the delete key on our keyboard to get rid of that extra line. I'm going to zoom in on the top here, and I'm going to fillet this by selecting fillet, and I am going to right click and drag down, we'll say 0.95. Enter, and then I'm going to just left click and just drag this as far as I can in this direction, let go. We're just rounding the top so we don't have any sharp edges. This edge right here, I am going to take and I'm going to just left click and drag down as far as I can to kind of round that and yet still give it as much surface contact with the desktop or ground as possible. So rounded edges all around, and that just helps prevent weak spots where it's likely to crack from stress of flexing. And we'll do a fit scene, and we'll do a finish. When you're all done, you got that just like this, click on the finish button and go to menu, do a file, save as. You cannot do a menu file save as unless you have pressed the finish button that I just did. And then save it to your documents. I would recommend saving it as your name, cell phone holder, finished sketch. Obviously, if you don't get finished, you might want to name it appropriately. You might even want to put in today's date for ease if you are, not finishing it all in one day. Click on save. Let's say you didn't get it finished or you want to come back in and edit something. You can just come up here and right click on that 2D profile and click on edit. And there you can change anything that you would like to change. I'm going to go ahead and finish though. And then here, I'm going to click in here twice, and I'm just going to call this, cell phone holder sketch. So we just renamed that. And that's how you do a sketch for your cell phone holder. Really, the next thing, if you right click on that cell phone holder sketch, go to create and select extrude, and then change the distance here to 75. Click OK. And you'll see I'm now pushing down the scroll button on my mouse. I'm holding it down, and I can orbit and see that part that I just turned that sketch into a three-dimensional part. And you can select different surfaces. There's the front surface. There's the back. Um, so left. Okay, so you can orbit it and look at it from different angles. But that's real quickly how to make a very basic cell phone holder. More to come on how to put in the charging port and text and maybe a design.